Stop your
Yeah,
screen
yeah,
sharing.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm doing. One moment, give me a moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Once again, good evening, all. First of all, I'd like to thank Sandeep and Nagesh for, inviting me to this panel discussion. I'm really privileged to be a part of this discussion today. So, thank you once again. So, going forward with our topic of localization, the challenges and the opportunities, what we basically have here actually. So, I think most of our panelists, they have covered well in detail. Amishji has covered a lot. And also Amarji and Manish, both of them have really, put a lot actually on this part. So I think most of you have eaten my part where which I am supposed to basically express here. Anyway, that's really very nice. Coming to, one part, being a end customer, end consumer, as a, from the foundry perspective, from the owner perspective point of view, we always, think where all we can best, the save the cost. That is one of the most of the, the important aspect that every foundryman basically looks into this part. Now, when it comes to localization, what we basically call it as about the dream of our Prime Minister, Atmanirbhar Bharat. And yes, this is the right time that we need to really support all our, local suppliers, indigenization, and whatever we import to stop. I think he has covered in great detail. But what I want to say is that not just because only to stop something, but to judicially choose what to stop and what to take it at our end. One. Second thing is that support our suppliers. Our suppliers are quite indigenous suppliers. They are quite capable of producing good quality products, which I have seen over a period of time, and they are well, compatible with the imported products. So definitely there is a huge, opportunity for us to go for the localized products actually from our side. So when it comes to all this, so what as a foundryman, we request everyone, in fact the other foundrymen also to much move towards the localization, so that we can take such baby steps and ultimately support the dream of our Prime Minister to come up with a $5 trillion economy. That's what we are aiming. So these are something what we are going to basically start with and move the economy, wheel of economy. So this is one thing. Second important part, what I feel about localization is, just not about only import from other countries, but also from getting certain products which are nearby to our foundry. And something which I'm buying from, say, Calcutta, to me is something which is available nearby to Pune, Hubli, or Bangalore is also a local thing to us. So suppliers have taken enough effort for that part to, stage their go downs at various places, and they are making such things available. So this is something which is very plus to us. If we are getting something which is far away at the same cost or even lesser than that cost, definitely that is going to be a huge saving. There will be a huge amount of, saving towards the inventory, built up. That could be saved. Logistic cost can be saved, and very important part, even sometimes just because of something is not available locally, we buy from outside and then end up in building a piles of inventory that will basically take care of it also consumes huge amount of space, and also in fact sometimes the FIFOs are not maintained, or sometimes the expiry dates also sometimes go beyond that part, and then we end up with mess. So these are some of the definitely advantages what we basically can have when something is really available, very local. So for that, like we definitely need to do some kind of research for that part. Some like example of that part, like we used to get earlier the sand from Gudur, Andhra Pradesh. The suppliers to send us from that place, where he had a proper grading system, where he used to properly grade the sand and maintain the right kind of a specification of the sand and then supply to us. But what we could really find is the logistic cost was sometimes quite higher than that of the sand also. So in that case, mean, our cluster, we came, some countrymen came together, developed some of the suppliers here, and we also understood that whether, I mean, we gave him the training for that part and made him understand whether we can come up with some kind of a grading system and all that part. So they built up with this kind of a things, and then we started taking the entire science and the requirements from that particular supplier. So we literally changed what was really far away to a very nearby place actually. So this kind of exercise definitely can be taken. That also is applicable for sometimes the purchase of raw material in bulk through clusters, and then we take the benefit of, we take the cost benefit. So, this is where something what we have really worked with our cluster and then helped actually on this particular part, and then we have really succeeded in these things. So one more important part, like what I basically think is about the service support which we basically get from the supplier. Something which is very far away, we are very sure, we don't get any kind of service support. They don't have any representation here in India or sometimes in nearby places or near to the foundry. It happened that once we imported some kind of an alloy from Italy, that was a particular special case. And once we opened the bag, we got to know that there is something different than the specification. Then there is a lot of argument, what we are sent, what we are given, who is going to prove actually on that part. So a lot of time basically gets wasted in talking on this part, and then we end up in some kind of a total loss actually in terms of money part also, as well as into inventory also. So in such cases, definitely preferring a local supplier is also one of the good decisions actually. So wherein sometimes whenever we come across any kind of a difficulty, there were some bags we had taken some good load of bentonite from one of the suppliers, and initially some bags were good, and then we used to continue to get a good parameters actually, specifications, sand parameters in the right way. Over a period of time, we got to know there is some kind of a decrement. We did not get the right values actually. So immediately we called the supplier representative. Next day he was there at the row steps. We were able to find out. So there are two things. Sometimes what happens is that we mess up with the procedures to be followed when the supplier talks something about this is to be mixed in this particular percentage, and we don't do that part, and ultimately end up in blaming the supplier. One. Second thing is that sometimes genuinely there's a problem with the supplier material also. So these issues can be definitely tackled when there is a local representation of the supplier near the foundry. So that basically helps us to take care on these aspects, and then able to choose the right kind of supplier for this one. There's one more important, when we all said this key, we can go local, we can cut our cost from the point of view of we save something actually. So from this point of view, what sometimes we feel is that the quality of the products what we take from the supplier is also equally important. On one hand, there is a cost aspect. On the other hand, there is a quality. So we need to have a proper blend, judicially choose what is right. We have to understand the supplier's SLA. We also need to understand what level of rejections that we basically develop just because of using the low quality material. So we definitely need to understand what is the quality of the supplier. So I think Mr. Amarji has really explained in a very great detail actually on this part. So we need to definitely optimize all the raw materials properly. We need to validate, define the quality at our level, what is really required at our site, and then maintain that data and keep those validations and explain right about all our data to all our people. So whenever we change any kind of a material, just because it is localized or for sometimes some supplier comes and then influences you with their data, at that time we also change the raw material. So whenever we change the raw material, we should be able to validate this data and then compare with the benchmarking what we have done earlier. So this basically helps us to understand whether the supplier has really given us the right kind of a material, whether it is at par or we have to, I mean, it is quite below that part or something, it is better than that part. So these are some of the things that we need to, I mean, basically understand when it comes to, I mean, quality, and we need to, I mean, make use of, I mean, the right kind of a suppliers and help this part in a, hence well Foundryman basically to choose the right kind of a supplier. I think in short, I think I have covered about like what I basically mean towards the localization. I think Nagesh, I think I'm done from my side.
Yeah, thank you, Nitinji. Thank you for expressing your views and giving insight